that he didn't have the experience. His critics said that he didn't have the right name. Well, now all of them know his goddamn name.
What? Letitia James.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
I'm excited because yesterday we talked with Joy Williams, the head of the New York entire state NAACP, 54 branches strong. Hopefully it'll be more. If there's not a branch in your area, start one. And she said, I don't know if we're going to know who's going to be the nominee because, you know, it's ranked voting and we usually don't know. Somebody's got to get 50% and we won't know probably for, you know, a week or two. And I got up this morning and Cuomo, Mario Cuomo's son, Andrew, Chris Cuomo's brother, conceded. I said, what? Let me just tell you, I am shocked. I'm shocked that Zohran Mamdani actually pulled this off. I'm shocked. And I'm excited. I said, wait a minute. Now, yesterday we had this whole conversation. I played 3 videos from this young lady, this Hispanic young lady who was talking about why Cuomo was probably going to be the choice because, you know, this guy doesn't understand New Yorkers. But what happened yesterday, what happened today is that there is now a possibility that this can happen everywhere. And I think, you know, I hearken back to Obama his first run. I remember sitting in the Democratic National Convention when Kerry was running for president, and this young man got up on the stage and talked about there are no red states, there are no blue states in the United States. I was in the building. I wrote my last column for the New York Daily News saying this man could be president, and everybody looked at me like I was crazy, but I felt it. Because there's something that transcends, it's not just faith. There's something that transcends logic. And because we are people, this bandwagon about to get real heavy. I'm on it. Let me just say, I'm on the bandwagon. I said, damn, I'm usually driving the bandwagon. I've never experienced actually having to jump on it because I'll be honest, I didn't believe the polls that said that he had edged ahead of Cuomo because, you know, polls are for strippers. And usually these polls have never been right. I saw that Trump could win when nobody else did because I'm like, these polls don't know people. I sit with people. But I didn't believe that New York, because it's such a complicated city, the city of New York, so complicated. I was there through the Crown Heights, quote unquote, riot when the 2 babies were run over by the caravan of Hasidim Jews that then, you know, recklessly ran over these children. And that set off, and I knew that was going to upend Dinkins's mayoralty because they were just looking for an excuse. And it did. And I knew that was going to happen. This was a surprise and a pleasant one, more than Zohran Mamdani being the ideal candidate, as we talked yesterday. Joy so eloquently said, there are no perfect politicians. We're not electing perfection. We're electing people who are going to do what we need them to do. It's rights and resources, period. And in New York and in most places, it's management. Now, does this 30-something-year-old, 33-year-old have experience? No, but what I saw him have is a group of people around him who do. Now, he's an assemblyman, state assemblyman, but he was surrounding himself with the other candidates, actually, and they were kind of running like a block. And I said, there's some strategy here. Because the first time when Eric Adams, and he's still in it, was elected, the ranked voting was new. People were confused, but they were very clear. Do not put Cuomo on any of your ballots, period. Some would say, well, let me put him number 5. No, leave him off. That thing worked. And it feeds something that I know, like I know my name. that when you come into something with a plan, usually if the plan doesn't hit straight on, you're going to get close to it. But you got to have a plan. You don't just be walking into the election booth on election day and go eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I don't know. I know I like this person. Oh, they got a nice name. This one's cute. No. This was orchestrated. This was planned out. It was beautiful. I said, okay. All right, way to give us an insight into what comes next. Now, ranked choice voting is not everywhere. But in New York, they figured this thing out the second time. High five to the people that figured it out. Now, I was listening to Louis Daniel Favors this morning driving around because I do my morning errands. I can't listen to Clay because I'm preparing for my show, so I have to catch him later. But Laurie, whew, if y'all ain't listened to her show, 10 a.m., go back on the app. Go back, listen on demand. I'm actually going to play a clip from her show this morning, but I want to congratulate Zohran Mamdani. I didn't think that this was going to happen because I don't trust people. I don't think people show up. But there's one thing, that's that element that Obama had, because I remember fighting with civil rights leaders who I was doing their show and they were on the radio and I wasn't. And I'm having a fight with them because I'm on their airwaves while they're on vacation saying something completely different than what they were saying, which was, we're backing Hillary. And I was like, oh, no, the hell, no, we aren't either. And then I had an off mic conversation and I was like, they were questioning Obama's blackness. Same people who ended up in the White House for Super Bowl parties, questioning his blackness. And I remember this conversation like it was yesterday. I said, that man goes to bed every night, or he has married and cleaved himself to a woman from the South Side of Chicago. He has made his mark in terms of what side he's going to be on. I don't care if he was raised by a pack of wolves. This man is raising 2 black daughters. You will not question his blackness, and you will not put that out on my watch. I'm going to talk about it. I didn't have a platform at the time, but I had to gather some folk who were on the Hillary, and everybody was on the Hillary bandwagon, as everybody was on this Mario Cuomo bandwagon. As a matter of fact, I printed out a list. I'm going to read the list because it was spoken of. So I was like, let me go find this list of people who were backing Cuomo, backing Cuomo, and not backing their own rights. And Laurie said this so eloquently that oftentimes, because black people tend to be pragmatists, and I've said this before, other people talk about the plantation and we're on the plantation, we're on the Democratic, but no, we are on the side of rights and resources. So we're going to, again, because we have been here a while, we've been here through Reconstruction. We know what time it is, okay? So we're going to show up for ourselves. We didn't show up for Kamala Harris. It was nice, all of the people and all of the billions of dollars and everything, but we were showing up for ourselves because we knew what that other dude was not going to do or what he was going to do. And we're here now. We were right. So this was amazing. This was amazing to watch. And what I saw is similar to what I saw with Obama, is that people showed up that wouldn't normally show up. And that's always going to be the deciding factor. In this last election in November, it was the people that sat home that really decided and determined that we would have another term of this madness that we're in right now, because 90 million people said, I can't vote for either one. It's not even the lesser of two evils. I'm not voting for evil. This is not a morality test. It's politics. It's politics. We're not electing pastors, spiritual leaders. We're not electing best friends. These are people you go on to dinner with. This is about rights and resources. Do you want them or not? I don't care whether you like how somebody laughs, whether they put hot sauce in their bag. None of that matters. And see, the MAGA Republican knuckle-dragging Neanderthals, they knew what they wanted to get done. They had a whole manifesto that was 900 pages that many of you did not read. And they told you what they were going to do when they got power. And it didn't matter who was going to be in office. They would have anybody, and they literally gave us anybody. This man can't even spell his own name on a tweet. Dropping the F-bomb, so uncouth, swinging a golf ball, looking out like he hit it 500 yards, picks the tee up and the ball like nobody can see that you just cheated. Like, this is what y'all elected. Bereft of any moral compass, any kind of competency, any kind of humanity. they didn't care because it's about rights and resources. It's about the things that they want to get done. And when we grow the F up to realize that that's what all of this is about, you want to elect a best friend, go get you a best friend. But these politicians are not your friends. They're tools. And in this case, we have an actual tool as president, a real tool. But that's it. There are ways in which we get what we need to get. And apparently New York said we want less rent. We want better pay. We want less police brutality. We want certain things. And Larry laid out everything that Mamdani ran for. And apparently people showed up. That was the difference. I think there was and folk don't show up in primaries. They just don't. They wait till November, which is also stupid. And now you can see when you show up for a primary, you can get some of the things you want. Well, they're not going to let us. Who's they? Is it you? You're not going to let us? Because you've determined that you rather sit home and complain and bitch about something than to get up and do something about it. Get up and do. As Marcus Garvey would tell us. So here we are. I'm excited. I'm excited more so than I've been in a while because I think this is a domino. I think this is a foreshadowing that maybe in the midterms people are going to show up. Maybe we can actually do something. So I'm going to shout out everybody that did something, and I'm going to wag my finger right now at the people who endorsed Cuomo, who, again, we talked about it yesterday. Yeah, he's absolutely problematic and a red flag. That might have been a pragmatic choice, maybe. But this is a choice for change. If you really want it, do you really want to change? Do you really want something different than the same old, same old? So I'm not surprised Bill Clinton endorsed him. And these people, Bill Clinton doesn't live in New York City. David Patterson, the former governor, Mike Bloomberg, Carl McCall, what? Keith Wright, Ruben Diaz Jr. I mean, all establishment people got behind him. I'm just going to read the list. Luis Davila Pernas, Greg Meeks, Jim Clyburn. When I saw that, I said, sir, this was not, you could have sat this one out. You're in South Carolina. Why are you doing this? Adrian Espelot. What? George Latimer, Tom Swazi, Richie Torres. Oh my God. All these people endorse Cuomo. Let me see if there's names on here Vivian Cook. I'm scrolling right now. I'll actually tweet out the list so y'all can see all of the people. And it's not to excoriate and wag a finger, although it does say something because y'all came out with your full chest. All of these union members. I mean, just about every union. The Teamsters Local 202, 237, everybody. Oh my goodness. Just endorse Cuomo. Here, take this mayoralty because that's the name you know his daddy. You feel like he's tough. He was tough during COVID. He did all of those things. However, the city needs something different. This country needs something different. And having a 33-year-old mayor of the biggest city in the country, the most diverse city in the country, the most central city in the country, the center of our financial spaces and all other culture and everything. A son of immigrants, a man whose middle name is Kwame after Kwame Nkrumah. This is different. And it does hit a little different that he is also, because I do think there is a wedge on purpose among the immigrant groups in this country, particularly when I say among the immigrant groups, I'm talking about the original immigrants, the people who were dragged here in the holds of ships. We were the first. And folk that have come here afterwards that have ridden on the labor, sweat, and pain and trauma of the treatment of Black people. You are only able to move about the cabin because Black people put their bodies on the line, period. So yeah, could there have been more outreach by him? Yes. And should we still be banging on him? Yes, because they're not our friends. He's not our friend. He still gets all of the smoke, all of it. But I'm still excited. At the same time, two things can be true. All these clergy members, which I'm not surprised. All these clergymen. I'm scrolling with the clergy members. community organizers. Yeah, they put their stake in Andrew Cuomo because it was an easy choice. But I think these times call on us to make tough choices, to make courageous choices, to make choices that might actually move the needle. Status quo choices give us what we got right now. And then people don't feel inspired to even show up. Young people showed up. They showed their asses. High-fiving them. And Tish James showed up. She was there last night. Let's play that clip first, Ms. Tish James.
Tonight, we celebrate the victory. Tonight represents a resounding win. His critics said that he should wait his turn. His critics said that he didn't have the experience. His critics said that he didn't have the right name. Well, now all of them know his goddamn name.
What? Letitia James cussing out here. There's a longer clip where she says the name. Smith, that was the one that I wanted to hear, where she actually gives you his name and introduces him. But yes, now Cuomo had some things. He was hemming up Letitia James. Sir, didn't work out. He conceded today. The poll yesterday, I was like, I don't know if I could trust this poll at all. It was right. So here we go. We're going to see November. Eric Adams will still be in the race. He's running as an independent. I hope race does not play a part, because Eric Adams has been a disaster as it relates to black bodies and black people and policing. Let's just put policing out there. Stop and frisk escalated under this man. Black bodies assaulted. People choked out on the train. I mean, like, listen, he didn't fix nothing. There was nothing fixed. And he has the audacity to look at people's faces and like, give me another shot. No. And that's the other thing we have to learn how to say is no. All right, we're going to give you a shot to do what you say you're going to do. And then you don't get another shot. That's it. You got 4 years to figure it out and to show improve. Or you got to sit your behind down. And we're going to get somebody else. Now, Zohran Mamdani, he will not be president because he was born in Kampala, Uganda, to Indian parents who were professors and studied post-colonial studies and just studied African history. And they moved to Cape Town, South Africa. I was saying yesterday, their trajectory is very much like Ali Velshi's family. If you've read Ali Velshi's book, very similar. He graduated from Bank Street School for Children, then went to Bronx High School of Science, one of the elite schools in New York. He went to Bowdoin. Oh, I know I'm mispronouncing that. Bowdoin. All right. Went to a school in Maine, college, co-founded the Students for Justice in Palestine. So he's an activist. He's been an activist. He was a city assembly person, which is where a lot of the laws that he wants to pass as mayor will get done. Guess who has relationships with the people in the assembly? He does. Guess who has relationships with the people who have the power in the city in terms of getting things done? I saw them with him. People who were running against him were actually running with him with this ranked choice voting. And I said, this is brilliant. Quietly, it's brilliant. I hope it works out. Here we go. He also worked as a foreclosure prevention and housing counselor. Loree was talking about that being one of the areas that she pivoted into after law school, helping people save their homes. I know she was also in bankruptcy, helping people get out of those entanglements. So he's a guy, for the big business. They're not going to be happy about this. Cuomo had all of the bucks and all the big names, but he has the people. And I've been saying this all along. If we the people, we're more powerful than these folk. All the APAC dollars in the world cannot overwhelm the sheer numbers of us when we show up for ourselves. When we show up for ourselves, it matters. So thank y'all in New York for giving me hope, because I'm sitting here like, oh, my God. All right, we can make this work, because this is what we do. We make chitlins, y'all. We make chitlins taste good. Enough of that. Let's get the choice prime meat on the table, because we deserve it. We deserve better. All right, let's play Loree Daniel Favors. For those of you who don't know who Loree Daniel Favors is, follow her on Instagram, Loree Daniel Favors. Follow her on YouTube because she goes live every day on YouTube, and it's exciting. I'm like listening in the car. I was like, oh, she's live. I'm driving. But today she broke down what this man ran on, and people, this generation, the younger folk, the folk that are just turning 18, who can vote, to the 35, almost 40-year-olds, they actually are engaged. They know. You may think they're checked out, but you have given them nothing to show up for. Give them something to show up for, they will show up. They remind me of Gen X, them babies, because they don't give a F. And they're also a little entitled. All right, play Loree.
Here are some of the things that Zohran Mamdani was running on. And I want you to think about the needs that we have in the Black community and then ask yourself, and just think about it, all right? So for housing, he said he wanted to freeze the rent. He says a majority of New Yorkers are tenants. More than 2 million of them live in rent-stabilized apartments. The home should be the bedrock of economic security. Instead, Eric Adams, the current mayor of New York City, who is a Black man, this is going to matter, has taken every opportunity to squeeze tenants with hand-picked appointees to the Rent Guidelines Control Board, which is true. He jacked up rents on stabilized apartments by 9%, which is true. And as mayor, Zohran will immediately freeze the rent for all stabilized tenants and use every available resource to build housing that New Yorkers need. Do you think Black people benefit from that? Do Black voters who are struggling with housing benefit from that? Now, I know Black voters benefit from this because when I was in private practice after I left corporate law, one of my huge areas of practice was defending homeowners and keeping them in their homes and defending them from foreclosure. And I remember telling Black elected officials then that if you don't do something to keep Black homeowners in their home, they are going to have to leave the city and you're going to lose a voting base. That conversation should be really at the forefront of a whole lot of people's minds right now. But he also says he wants to build affordable housing, says we need a lot of affordable housing. We've relied almost entirely on changing zoning codes to entice private development. As mayor, Zohran will put public dollars to work and triple the city's production of permanently affordable, union-built, rent-stabilized homes. He says constructing 200,000 new units over the next 10 years, any 100% affordability development program will get fast-tracked. Do you think that would be of a benefit to Black New Yorkers? To Black community members? These are important questions to ask. Cracking down on bad landlords, supporting homeowners and ending deed theft, for safety, talking about policing. He says that all New Yorkers deserve to be safe, but the Eric Adams administration failed to deliver the sense of safety and security. Facts. This is true. He says Zohran will create the Department of Community Safety to prevent violence before it actually happens by prioritizing solutions that have consistently shown to improve safety. This is a violence interruption model. He's talking about violence disruption model, which is are models that advocates who are fighting for peace in communities and advocating against gun violence have been fighting for and advocating for a really long time. And as opposed to sending NYPD, which is an overworked agency, overfunded as well, but an overworked agency to go handle issues that they are not prepared for, he is proposing an Office of Community Safety. Black New Yorkers tend to be the most over-policed communities in the city. Thank you, Eric Adams. You did not change any of that. In fact, you increased it. And we just got reports that under Eric Adams, a Black mayor who himself used to be a police officer and a whole ass Republican, that under his watch, that stop and frisk rates have escalated. Now, we had Bill de Blasio who brought them down, but under Eric Adams, those stop and frisk rates have escalated to the tune of rivaling the numbers under Bloomberg and rivaling the numbers under Giuliani in terms of population and percentage from a Black mayor. Okay, so we need to think about when skin folk and kinfolk ain't the same, this is how that analysis should factor in. For affordability, New York is very expensive. It's a really expensive city to be poor. It's really expensive to be poor in New York City. He talks about the fact that food prices are out of control. He says, as mayor, Zohran will create a network of city-owned grocery stores, focus on keeping prices low, not making a profit. He got fast and free buses, because public transportation should be reliable, safe, and accessible. And he won New York's first fare-free bus pilot on 5 lanes across the city. And he wants to permanently eliminate the bus fares on city buses, fighting corporate exploitation for childcare. He wants no-cost childcare. I saw somebody today who posted something. It was a number that they were paying for childcare, which was ridiculously low. But we paid almost as much for childcare as we pay for rent and our mortgage in New York City. Like that, paying for childcare is expensive. He wants no-cost childcare. He wants baby baskets for newborns. He wants K through 12 education that's going to be fully funded with equitable distribution provision of resources, after school programs, mental health counselors. Do you think this is something that our voters in our communities would like? He wants to pay for this by taxing the 1%, which he is going to need multiple levels of government to support and help him to do. But like the fact that he is saying tax the rich is a big deal. He's got a climate change plan. He's got LGBTQ plus plans to protect the community. He's got health. I mean, he's got plans that, if you were just looking at policy, are very attractive to people in our community. But our community is very practical, and we often do not vote in ways that give us access to what it is that we want, because we know that most other voters are not going to do this.
What if we actually showed up for the things that we wanted in mass numbers instead of complaining about what they wouldn't do? Well, here we are. We're about to find out in November how this is going to work out. But congratulations to Zohran Mamdani.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back, and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We